Good afternoon, Sava here from Football Heritage TV. I hope that everybody is well. So, a couple of bits of news that have come out today surrounding Tottenham Hotspur. The first of which actually broke last night. We touched upon it earlier in the morning snippet, but it's one that's really getting people upset, and it's the conversation in regards to Son. Lots of people getting really upset at the fact that I just asked some questions about whether or not you would sell him, and people going mad at me. So listen, I wanted to have a conversation about Son in a little bit more detail. So let's roll back and go back to the beginning. So Heung-min Son, he he is rumoured for clubs in Saudi Arabia, and apparently they're going to put in a £60 million bid to begin with. Romano has turned around and said that Son wouldn't be for sale from Spurs, that the player feels like he has a point to prove still in the Premier League. So that's all well and good, and that's where the story could end. However, it then started the debate with a lot of people as to, would you sell Son? Is it time to sell Son? And this really upsets and angers people. So look, all I'm doing is asking some questions. I'm trying to sit on the fence, trying to play devil's advocate and asking, would you sell Son? Son is going to be 31, whether we like it or not, next month. And if a bid came in, let's say somebody came in with a 70, 80 million pound bid, would you move him on? Is that good money for a player of that age? Now, lots of people there, as I said, I keep telling you, people getting angry, going, you want to sell Son? I'm asking questions. Big clubs would sell players at the right time, and I feel that Spurs don't. Now, of course, I understand that a lot of this is due to the fact that we are terrible in the market and who we'd be able to replace him with. Would we have a plan? Most clubs with a plan, a structure in place and a scouting network will have lineups ready that won't be as clinical as Son in year one, but they will be players that are young, hungry and could potentially be very good for us. Now, the problem is this: Spurs don't have that in play. So there's a number of different factors to look at. The first being, Son has been a consistent goal scorer for Spurs for 8-9 years now. Now, notice I said consistent. I don't think he's a phenomenal goal scorer. I think he's had 1 year when he's hit over 20, which was very good. The rest of the years, he's hitting and around that 11 to 14 mark in the Premier League. One season 17, so, he's done well. My worry is that at the age of 31, with the pace will naturally go, it does with footballers. If we want to play a different way that doesn't rely on Son playing through the middle, is it worth cashing in? I'm just asking the question. I'm not playing devil's advocate, and I will play the devil's advocate in a minute for keeping him. So my worry is that when Son doesn't have the opportunity to run through on goal and space to run into, grass to run into, I don't feel he's that effective as a footballer. However, through on goal, last man, shoulder the last man, I think he's a very clinical footballer. So I think it all depends on how Postecoglou wants to play. Would we consider playing him more through the middle in a 2 with Kane and slightly adapting the strategy, maybe with Kulusevski in behind? I don't know. I'm not sure. The pros to keeping him, of course, if Spurs get the Son of a couple of years ago, then he is lethal. He can get over 20 goals in the Premier League. All right, he's only done it once, but could he do it again? Well, of course he could. But it all depends on hunger, desire, fitness, and for me, not being burnt out, not being played week in, week out. So, look, I think there's lots of ups and downs and ifs and buts about Son, but the question mark would be there if a bid came in that was for 70, 80 million pounds. The other pro to keeping him isn't really one I bother about as a football fan because I'm not an accountant, but it is about how much commercial revenue will Son make because of his ties with South Korea, because of his popularity in South Korea. So that's definitely something that needs to be considered. So let me know your thoughts and try and do it without having a go. I mean, some of the responses I saw earlier were crazy. People calling me an idiot, a tool, and a fool. I literally asked some questions. Just relax and answer the football questions. Would you sell him? What price would you need to sell him for? Will Son be as good again as he once was? Was last year just a blip? Can you have a 1 year blip? Was he bad because he was playing injured? Should he be being played injured. So there's all of these different questions that go around. Now, the next part of this is we have to look at James Maddison. Now, James Maddison, as we talked about earlier, Newcastle want him, and Fabrizio Romano has said that Newcastle want to tie something up within a week, and that they do not want a long-term saga. Again, as we said this morning with the David Raya deal, it seems that this is becoming an ever-present theme throughout the last 10-15 years with Daniel Levy. That we just cannot get deals over the line, we will not move quickly, and we drag our heels. My plea is this, to anyone that pays to go and watch Tottenham, please stop feeding this man, stop giving him your money. Yeah, at the end of the day, he's not going to change. He is going to do what he's going to do. So at the end of the day, this is Spurs all over in a nutshell. So please like, please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the whole Son piece and on the James Maddison piece. Will Spurs get him? Will Newcastle get him first? Let me know your thoughts. Take care.